You know what is absolutely, completely the best part about making videos to post on YouTube? That's not a real question, you don't have to answer it. It just gets me to this next point. When I make a video about like working on something like this, fixing it, and I talk about something that like I am not 100% knowledgeable about. Like I, very admittedly, am not the authority on anything Shimano. I don't know really anything about it. I don't know compatibility. I don't know the numbers. All I really know is like the road group set hierarchy. And I am fairly certain I could fumble my way through the mountain bike hierarchy. Basically where that leaves me is in a position where I own this bike that's Ultegra equipped, and like me working with the limited knowledge I have about the products they offer for how their like gravel or tighter tensioned cage rear derailleurs work. That is where you all come in to help. This comment got me searching down a rabbit hole on how to increase the spring tension on Shimano Ultegra rear derailleurs, and apparently this is possible with a number of different, newer Shimano road rear derailleurs. So before we go out and see if I fixed the Poseidon X, we have one more step. So just at the workbench here, this process is going to involve just taking the pulleys out of the cage, taking the cage apart a little bit, and then just pulling the cage away from the spring area. Without spending too much time explaining it, I think it's just easier to see it. So let's just do that. And I think it goes without saying, this is not something I knew about. It's something I saw through a forum because I looked it up. I am just simply following the steps that I saw in that guy's video. Red Loctite, eh? Wow. So I guess the next step is getting this pin out. I'm not prepared for that. Pretty good. Of course, it's different than what I looked at. Okay, that pin is out. Okay, so spring coming out. So see how there's two holes in the cage where you can put the spring. One adds more tension than the other. At this point, we just need to put it back together in the spot where it adds more tension. Thinking about it logically, it's going to be the hole that's further up because it's going to push the spring more than the hole that's further back. That makes sense. Down, oh yeah, that seems a lot tighter. Put this pin back in. I think we've got, oh yeah, we've got way more cage tension now than we did before. So let's just throw this back together and see how it feels. So I'm going to throw the focus here. So you can see the two holes, the two different settings that Shimano actually offers on their rear derailleurs. I know I'm usually the first one to talk about how much I hate Shimano stuff, but it's a pretty cool option and like super easy to do. I might not need to buy a new rear derailleur at all. If this is quiet enough, I'm happy. Okay, so not the moment of truth, but a good test. The floor bounce chain slap noise emulator. So can't help but want to just compare it very quickly to an actual clutched rear derailleur. And that, in this case, will be the Advent X. No doubt the clutched Advent X is like quieter, but by less than maybe I would have expected. All right, well, all we can do now is actually just... So on like mud, asphalt, and gravel like this, the effects of the changes made are clear, notable, and immediate. I keep forgetting I have a front derailleur and that I have to use it. Keep ending up in very weird gears. So just for fun, I had this like route in my head that would put me on asphalt roads like this through an industrial park on the weekend, so it's not busy at all, on gravel walking trails, little single track sections that are built by who knows who, but they've done a fantastic job through those walking path trails. One section, quite muddy, gave a good idea of like the tread pattern on these tires is for slippery and slick conditions. Hopefully, if the access is there, I've never ridden that far, but will bring us to a mountain bike trail that'll loop me back home. One cool thing about this thing fitting better and me wanting to ride it a little bit more, because it has been really good on the road and it handles fine on stuff like this, it's basically what you would expect, is that I'm finally getting a chance to bed in these pads to these rotors, because I literally did not put enough miles on this thing to heat them up in a way that they actually wanted to grab. And I'm like feeling them get progressively better as I keep riding up and down things, especially in conditions like this. So that's a nice added benefit. If it's not obvious, this isn't really a trail, but I'm way too far in at this point. I gotta keep going until I know where I'm gonna be. I'm not turning around.
The next day.
So it turns out this loop is a lot easier than I thought. You don't have to go down that road at all. If you ever find yourself wondering, geez, does anything ever go like kind of wrong in Eric's vlogs? Yes, they so immensely do, like so much. I even considered just leaving this in the woods. I was like, it's not worth it. I'm glad I didn't now. Was entirely my intention to spend pretty much the entire video here playing with the drone and like riding this bike on all these obstacles, but being lost in the woods for the time that I was certainly chewed up all of the spare daylight that I had, and we need to go. I also feel like the fact that I did not crash the drone this time is really pushing my luck on all of today. Also, that bike has not broken yet, and it literally walked through trees for an hour and a half. If I get stuck riding home in the dark, that'd be the last of the luck I have for the day. Thankfully, this thing still has a lot of road bike-esque characteristics, so it'll be no problem in getting home. Well, that was great! So I kind of set out today to see if the changes that we made yesterday and just this morning before we left was able to fix some of the qualms that I had with the original changes that I had done to this to bring the weight down. And while we were sidetracked in the thick of the woods, bushwhacking for probably an hour to an hour and a half, maybe two, we still got a really good idea of whether or not this thing could be in the stable, reached for and grabbed to ride again. And the short, sweet, simple answer, yeah, I think we've basically solved every issue that I had, originally created when I was just throwing light parts at it. It is so much more fun to be on now. This feels like how my cyclocross race bikes always have, and it's got that same playful, easy throw around manner when I've got those same numbers. And when there is such a long stem on there, it's not quite as fun to navigate and kind of get your way through some sloppy single track. With the way this is set up now, minus the tires, because the tires really don't do anything in that condition, I would just like run laps of a fun, like off-cambered, twisty, fun, wet, rutted sloppy single track and just like have the time of my life. Actual mountain bike trail riding, there's definitely some toe overlap that I forgot that this had. After riding for a little bit, I remembered muscle memory kind of took over and got my crank positioning and my feet to drop the heels so that that would stop like contacting and happening. But definitely something I've had totally forgot because I haven't been riding this bike like that. Definitely way more fun than I ever had when I like put the Ultegra stuff on. Like I haven't had fun with the Ultegra group on yet. And I almost wanted to blame the Ultegra group set, but it was definitely that I laid the bike out too much, made the fit all wrong. It's back now. Okay, that's it. My feet are really wet.